Unit 9, Lesson 4, Multiplying Integers. Okay, we saw the addition, we saw the subtraction, the multiplication is a little bit different, and we're going to see something very easy, that integers have the same multiplication property of whole numbers. Very important. So whatever you are doing for the multiplication with the whole numbers, you will do it with the integers. And this part is very easy because we are doing some, or we know some properties about the multiplication for the whole numbers. It's going to be the same for the integers. So let's start with the first one, multiplying by 0. So if I have any number that you multiplied with 0, so no, let's say number 2 times 0, it's equal 0. The same thing with the integers. If I have negative 2 and I'm timing that by 0, I will get 0. If it's positive, no problem. Positive 4 times 0, it's always 0. So that's why there is no difference between the integers and the whole numbers. Next, multiplying by 1. When we multiply any number, whole number, by 1, we'll get the same number. Again, with the integers, we have the same thing. So if I have negative 2 and I'm multiplying negative 2 by 1, I will get negative 2. Or if I have a positive 4 and I'm multiplying this positive 4 by 1, I will get positive 4. So again, the integers follow the same rules of the whole number. Order property. 4 times 2, it's exactly the same if we switch and we say 2 times 4. The order doesn't affect. So if the 4 came first and 2 came second, and you switch that to 2 becomes the first and the 4 becomes the second, we will have the same answer. Exactly the same with the integers. So if I have negative 4 times, let's say, positive 2, we will get exactly the same answer if I take the positive 2 at the beginning and I multiply it with negative 4. There is no difference between the answer. And the last thing is the distributive property. Distributive property means what? If I have a number like 4 times between bracket 2 plus 3, usually we take the 4 and we multiply it by the first term, then we add the multiplication of 4 with the second term. So 4 times 2, 4 times 2, plus, I keep the plus as it is, 4 times 3. The same, we do it with integers. So let's say I have, instead of 4, I have, let's say, negative 4. And I'm multiplying this negative 4 by, let's say, positive 2 plus negative 3. Again, I follow the same rule of the distributive property. Negative 4 times the first term plus negative 4 times the second term. So again, negative 4 times positive 2, and I keep the operation exactly the same, so plus negative 4 this times negative 3. So the left side equal to the right side, exactly what we are doing with the whole numbers, we do it for the integers. So as you can see, this part is very easy because we learned already in grade 4 and grade 5 these properties. We do the same thing with integers. There is no surprise. So let's go to second part. They are saying you can write the product of integers without the use of multiplication sign. This is good. So let's say I have negative 4 between brackets times positive 2. First of all, you can see here I'm writing the times here not as x. I'm trying to avoid the x sign like this one. Why? Because when we get to the algebra, how we can make a difference between the multiplication and the letter x. So that's why I'm trying to use this star as a multiplication. Now, this multiplication, we can remove it and we can switch this to something easier. We can say negative 4 times positive 2. Bye-bye the multiplication sign. We don't need it. In some books, they are using a dot. In some books, you can see negative 4 dot positive 2. Maybe this one you will see it in secondary, but for the moment, we avoid any multiplication sign, so we write it negative 4, nothing, positive 2, but you know that this means multiplication. So if I need to add, I write plus. If I need to subtract, I write minus. If I need even division, I write the division symbol. But in multiplication, I can avoid it and I can leave it empty, but we understand this is a multiplication. Now let's move to another part. Multiplication table, very important table, very important table. So please, I need that you focus with me when I am teaching this part, because without the multiplication table, we can make errors with the sign. So as you can see, we call it multiplication table. Why? Because I am using the multiplication. Now, what is very important in this lesson is the sign. As you can see, if I multiply a positive with positive, we are saying they have the same sign. That's why the result is going to be a positive. When we are multiplying negative with negative, because they have the same sign, nothing different, it's always positive. So I'm getting positive sign for the product of any two integers with the same sign. But what about if I am multiplying different signs? If I am multiplying a negative with positive, I will get negative sign. What about if I'm multiplying a positive integer with a negative integer? They are different, so I will get negative. If you know this multiplication table, you will never do any mistakes because it's easy. So that's why we summarize all of that in this part. When two integers with the same sign are multiplied, their product is positive. So let's see an example of this one. I'm gonna use a blue. If I have two integers with the same sign, so let's say positive 4. Now I don't need to write the sign of the multiplication. I can say multiply by positive 2. As you can see, they have the same sign. Because it's the same sign, it's always positive. And after that we say 4 times 2 equal 8. Done. So you think about the sign first, and after that you think about the product of the two terms, the multiplication of two terms. If I have negative 5 times negative 3, again, before I start the calculation, I say, what is the sign here? Negative. What is the sign here? Negative. They have the same sign. Excellent. So the product is positive. 5 times 3, 15. Done. Can you see how it's easy? Now we'll go to something more complicated. When two integers with different sign are multiplied, their product is negative. Can you see here? We did it here. Negative and positive give negative, positive and negative give negative because they are different. So when they are different sign, in this case it's going to be negative. So let's start with an example. If I have negative 4 times positive 5, here before I jump to the solution, I have to note that I have a negative and I have a positive. They are different sign, that means negative right away. 4 times 5 equal 20. Done. I will get another one. If I have positive 2 times negative 6, can you see? First of all, I didn't put any symbol for the times because we learned if I leave it blank, that means multiplication. Now, before I jump to the solution, I ask myself, what about the sign? They are the same or different? They are different because here it's positive, here is negative. So if they are different, that means it's negative. 2 times 6 equal 12. Very easy and simple, as you can see. Now we'll go to the last part, which is the most complicated one, and you have to make sure that you understand this part. There is a note here. When more than 2 integers are multiplied, we advise you to count the negative signs to find the sign of the product. An even number of negative signs gives a positive product. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say I have negative 1 times, let's say positive 5 times negative 2. So as you can see, there is 3 different integers. Because it's more than 2, we have to count how many negative signs do I have. I have 1 and I have 2. This number is even number. Okay, in this case, we say the product is going to be positive. Now I can do the multiplication. 1 times 5 equal 5. 5 times 2 equal 10. That means it's positive 10. Someone will tell me, I don't understand why an even number of negative signs give a positive. Very simple. If you take this negative and negative from the previous part that we said, because they have the same sign, I will get a positive. And if I multiply positive with this positive, can it give me positive because they still have the same sign. But let's see another example about an odd number. Odd number of negative signs give a negative product. So I'm going to take this example. Let's say negative 1, and I'm going to time it with negative 3 with negative 5. As you can see, 3 integers. So it's more than 2. We said if it's more than 2, we count how many negative signs we have. So I have 1, I have 2, I have 3. This 3 means odd number. Odd numbers, right away, the answer is going to be negative. Then I can ask myself, 1 times 3 equals 3, 3 times 5 equals 15, done, 15. If you want to understand from where we got the negative 15, why odd number lead to a negative, we can do it step by step. Can you see this negative and negative? They have the same sign. If I'm following these rules or this multiplication table, when they have the same sign, even negative with negative, it's positive. So because they have the same sign, it's gonna lead to a positive sign. Now I'm multiplying this positive with this negative. Because they have different sign, it's gonna lead to a negative. That's why the answer is negative. You want to do another one longer? Yes, why not? We can say negative 1 times positive 4 times negative 2 times negative 3. How many brackets do I have? I have 4. That means it's more than 2. In this case, we count how many negative. We don't count the positive because it doesn't have too much effect. So the negative. How many negative? I have 3. Is 3 is odd or even number? It's odd number. That means right away, without doing any calculation, I can say it's gonna lead to negative product. Now 1 times 4, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 3, 24. Now if you want to understand why it's negative, no problem. Take the negative with the negative. they have the same or different? They have the same, so it's gonna lead to positive. Now I have positive and one negative. It gonna leads to negative because they are different. And don't forget, I have another positive with negative. They are different sign. It gonna lead to negative, and that's why the final answer is negative. So this way it's longer. So that's why we are saying try to memorize it with this way. If you have more than two integers, count how many negative signs. If the negative signs, the number of the negative signs, it's odd, it's negative product. If it's even, it's positive product. I hope that you understood this lesson, and the next one is going to be Unit 9, Lesson 5. Thank you.